Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer, and we are playing Hearts of Iron 4. Germany has just declared war on Poland and thereby kicked off World War II. So we are now trying to see whether we can influence world results from over here. Germany has been extremely boosted in the setup. They had maximum bonuses on everything, industry, army and everything like that. So let's see whether we can actually beat them or whether we're going to fail extremely. Nevertheless, at the same time, we are preparing a coup in Turkey. We are building up a little bit of the knowledge or a bit of a spy network in Germany over there. And we're also actually starting to influence the United States a little bit. Let's see what we can do over here and what we can change up. Before we go into that, I do want to make one change to our army templates over here. So our standard division is now going to roll with an engineer company. That does increase the requirements quite a bit by 5,000 units, but we do have nearly 8,000 storage, so I think that's going to be alright. The big benefit, of course, is going to be the entrenchment bonus over here. Slightly better breakthrough, all of that is relatively irrelevant. I do want the entrenchment. That is going to be a nice bonus that we might be able to get there. So yeah, there we go. That being done, fine, fantastic. I think that is good. We are training up a couple of tank divisions. I think at some point we probably want to make some changes here to our motorized equipment as well, and our motorized divisions. They should be probably something more like this, so that they have at least a 20 combat with. You probably do want to get artillery on these guys as well, support artillery, so that they are a little bit better. And I would like to get at least motorized recon units on them as well. Interesting. Look at that. Armored recon is exactly 12 kilometers per hour as well, whereas light recon, light armored recon would be lower speed. That's peculiar. Well, we would want to do that, but we don't really have the army experience to do that right now, so that's going to be alright. Something that does is probably going to be changed is the fact that these guys are going to all lose a little bit of organization as they are now being supplied by this other equipment. So let's make sure to train you up back to speed again. Who is that? That's also you. And I'm thinking you, and I'm probably thinking you as well. Right, and you guys as well. So yeah, let's make sure that all of these guys are trained up at least to a standard loadout over here, like so. Come on, you should also be trained up fairly quickly over here. Just don't want to have the minus 25% bonus or debuff there. Right, second level of engineer company done just at this time, which is very lovely indeed. So we can all very much think about 1940s stuff now, because, well, it's almost 1940. So in terms of armor, that is not something that we want to upgrade right away. Improved artillery is a super useful upgrade, but not something that we need right in this moment. Well, we could certainly roll with better tactical bombers, better naval bombers. All of that would be extremely useful. Slightly better planes over here would also be lovely, wouldn't they? Now, I'm not sure what that does actually in terms of reconnaissance, whether that is improved. I don't see any stat here that would indicate that we would actually get better stuff this way. But the range would be certainly better. Not that that is something that we immediately need, I feel. So let's hold off on that for a second. And you know what, I think we're going to go for improved computing machine, because that is certainly going to be useful. By the way, since we've now got all of that, we could do machine assisted encryption. And at some point soon we should also go for plastics explosives, I think. Yeah, let's also go for this here, so that we are getting a little bit more intelligence about German air activities, and that should be fairly nice. Let's start to make resistant contacts here in Germany with our 2 German operatives. Chances for this are pretty good. Duration 60 days. Just a little bit of support equipment, but that's fine. So we're going to infiltrate overwoods, and we're going to distribute a couple of radios and all of that. And that will allow us to do certain other things later on in Germany, which I think is going to be extremely useful. Right, Turkey continues to be built up in terms of its... We're not getting benefits from that. Are we getting any of these? I don't see any of these anymore. Okay, that's alright then. Yeah, Officers Purged is still a big debuff. We'll have to deal with that in some fashion. Yeah, so this is now prepared. I did not hit that button, so I think... Oh, yeah, we need to actually hit a state in that regard. Okay, so I think since they are closing in, we're going to wait here a little while. I think they're going to close in on Warsaw fairly soon, and I think Germany is going to surrender within just a couple of days over here. By the way, let's do keep an eye on our guys over here, because I think you're training up a little bit too much. We don't really need you to be elite. I just want you to be fairly good. You guys can be elite because you're so close to being that anyway. And I should only give you an order like that, because that is a fairly fantastic way in the new game, or in the new update, to make sure that you're not overtraining in a way. Right, in between episodes I did set up a couple of units over here. Ooh, I have a couple of free military factories. So what are we going to do with you? I think just producing a little bit more in terms of support equipment would be lovely. We are producing tons of infantry equipment, which is certainly nice. Fighters, I would like to produce a little bit more over time, but that's going to be alright. So yeah, let's build up a little bit more in terms of our ancillary guns over here, and that would be useful. German pressure towards Benelux and Warsaw having fallen, and that's alright. Is there any timing thing over here? No. So that's okay. Talented new officers, so that is good. Yeah, and Poland is gonna fall extremely soon. We've got a new fighter, which I very, very much appreciate. So that is actually fairly fantastic. We could build up you guys over here. You would give us mechanized, and you'd upgrade a lot of things. Hardness plus 100%? Do I read that right? Motorized equipment? Oh no, this might be mechanized. Yeah, okay, no, that does make sense. Right. Although I think better armored cars would also be appreciated. So what's the main difference here? Looks like many of these are the same. I'm looking principally for something like suppression, which I don't quite see. Unlocks armored car suppression 2.5, but the new model just doesn't add up on that, and the production costs are 50% higher. On the other hand, you're faster, so that might mean we can use you on like motorized equipment. So that's not a very bad idea. Right, yeah, you know what, let's go for this. It's not that far ahead of time, and we don't have anything in terms of industry that we probably want to prioritize quite as much. No, so yeah, no, I think we're alright. Scout planes would also be nice, but let's go for the better armored cars. I think that's lovely. Good. Outdated equipment in production, of course, that is the I-16, one of the most horrible fighters in World War II. So let's create a variant over here. We've got a little bit of air experience, and just pumping that into our fighters is going to be extremely useful. I like the engine. I don't think weapons are that important. It's about a 10% boost. Not that important specifically, as you also, if you do this, you also need basically a reliability boost. So yeah, we're not going to do that. I think this is fine. More agility, more max speed. Fantastic. And we're going to decommission this. So this is our main fighter now, and we can switch around to that. Come on, well, fighters there. We're currently producing 2 per day. That's going to drop significantly, but very soon we are going to get the upgrades over here, so I think that's going to be alright. Ooh. Border provocation in Japan. So this is interesting. The Japanese are probably attacking, and it's probably on the border with Korea. Does it say so anywhere? Yes, it is in Korea. So let's make sure that we have sufficient troops over here. I do think all of these guys here should be enough. As part of maintaining the demarcation line on the border between us and Japan, a work party was sent out to check the demarcation markers near Lake Kasan. When approaching the border, the work party was taken under fire by a local Japanese outpost. We have lodged a formal diplomatic protest, but the Japanese ambassador maintains that the work party was sent to move the markers to allow us to claim more territory. What a horrible suggestion. The Japanese have assured us that they will respect the border, but will not allow any tampering with the current demarcation. So there we go, and I think very soon we are going to see some sort of conflict over here. Poland has capitulated. That means we need to briefly get back to our operatives over here, and indeed make the resistance contracts. Which state are we going to pick for that? I think probably we are going to get Lublin. Let's wait a second over here until we get the Molotov-Ribbentrop effects over here. Yunnan has capitulated. Interesting. More developments in China then. Germany honors the pact, and there we go. That means we can now go ahead and actually proceed to make contacts in which state. I think Warsaw or Lublin would be very good targets. Let's start out by Warsaw, because I think that does make some sense. Right, and let's commence this. It's going to take 60 days. And there we go. We've got now our troops are a little bit... where are you guys going? Why would you be going over here? I don't get that. Right. Okay. Let's grab you. Let's make sure that you understand your borderline is over here. So we've got about three guys over there. Let's get you over there. Agency upgraded. Also very lovely. Not really required immediately, but that's alright. Good. Asked to join faction request from Xinjiang. You are still at war with Japan, aren't you? Yeah, see, I don't really like that because I don't want to get involved in a war with Japan right now. So yeah, let's see about that. 20 days till there's any effect over there. How is Turkey looking then? 20% communist. That is certainly interesting. Now, I'm slightly afraid that if we wait too long down here in Turkey, things are going to heat up a little bit, unfortunately. So that's not great. How are things down here in America? Could certainly infiltrate their civilian administration, although we'd need 2 operatives for that, which we don't have right now. So, you know what? We're going to go ahead in Turkey then. We are going to... No, this is the wrong screen. We are going to go and initiate a coup in Turkey. We are going to pick... I think she is currently... That's you? You're currently in Turkey anyway. And we're going to pick the lady who's currently in the US. It's going to get rid of our stuff over there, but that's alright. And then we need to select a target state. And again, we're going to make that Trabzon just because it's on our board, and to me that sort of makes a certain sense. Right, there we go then. So you should be preparing for that. You're doing this nice and easy. You're making the contacts, and you're still boosting our party support so that once that coup is happening, we are a little bit more successful in that regard, and that is also very good. German Reich is declaring war on Belgium, sort of to be expected. Belgium joining the Allies, that is all okay. Who are you? You're part of this front line. Well, yeah, I think that's all going to be sorted out. Probably in between episodes, just a little bit. Right, there we go. Insufficient resources, just a little bit of rubber, that's okay. Events, 12 days till we're probably getting in a border conflict with Japan. But I do think we are relatively well prepared with all of our forces here. At least these guys are our crack divisions, so yeah, I think that's alright. How are we looking in terms of our stuff? 5,000 infantry equipment, not the best stockpile, but certainly alright. German interest in Scandinavia, also interesting. Denmark being declared war on. All sort of historical so far, except for the situation in Asia where Japan is currently, curiously, much more effective than they were. That might be due to, in some part, due to the fact, border conflicts, there we go. So yeah, here we go. Our divisions are much more capable than theirs are for now, so that I appreciate a lot. We are sending in reinforcements here, yeah, but all in all we seem to be doing much better. And we're getting a bonus there, so that is lovely indeed. Military factories, lovely, lovely, lovely. What shall we pour them in to? Well, certainly more tanks are always super useful. This is sort of something that we're producing just in case. We're producing a decent amount of fighters for now. You know what, let's build that up a little bit more. I think that is going to be useful. Yeah, and afterwards we can build more and more tactical bomb there. Right, at that point we do need a little bit more rubber, so let's ask the Dutch East Indies for that. Should be alright like that. Right. Decisions or timeouts, so I think Japan is probably, hopefully, not going to escalate that, even though they might have switched their focuses, which wouldn't be great. And KTB division, so we are much more likely to reinforce. That is lovely. And we can go for partisan repression, which also would be somewhat decent. Operation That is what? Oh yeah, just China. Well, that's probably a little late. We've done all of this. Could go for anti-capitalist stuff. Expanding the fleet to me just doesn't make that much sense. This would kind of so interestingly match with what we've got otherwise. Game Sinkiel. Reconcile Japan. Lessons of war. You know what? Let's go for partisan suppression. Or the Far East fortifications. Well, at this point this would make some sense, right? We are feeling threatened over here. Yes, I do think this does make sense. We're only feeling threatened to a minor degree, but still. So, yeah, let's go ahead with this. You guys are all part of a weird front line. Let's reassign you all towards over here. Towards this gentleman. You're doing that anyway. And let's get rid of this front line. And let's grab all of you guys here and be part of the front line with... come on, it's called Finland. Right, because there might just be a chance that at some point we are entering into a winter war here. So yeah, we're gonna get you over there, and these MKVDB troops are there. That's okay then. You guys are up over here. It's a little bit more role-playing than anything else. So you know what, you guys over here, all of you, instead of being arrayed against Estonia, we are going to ask you here to watch basically the border with Manchuria, which is an enormous border, I realise, but we're only going to watch our part of this. It's more for token defense, but I think it's sensible to use that this way. Good. Netherlands has capitulated. Belgium as well. They're falling quickly over here. Not completely historical, but still. Time out over here. Yeah, that's alright. We have good wall support. We don't need to boost that in any way. So yeah, we can get rid of this here. It's okay. Modify government. Again, not something that we really need at this very moment. So I think that's alright. You're going to get that soon. So I think at that point we're probably going to get an upgrade to at least our tactical bombers. Even though we're not going to use them that heavily. But still, it might be very useful. Unassigned divisions. Lovely. There's another group of 24 units. Don't really want to send you towards any other place, so yeah, let's just send you over here towards Lithuania, and we're just gonna threaten them like this. Do we have claims on you? Yes, we do. Don't think we need to declare war. Right, okay, so we've done that. Let's go for... do we need anything else in terms of artillery or something? Yeah, I mean, this upgrade is nice. Rocket artillery is a little bit so-so. I don't find myself using that really ever. But yeah, I suppose that's okay. Right, infantry equipment would be super useful, but let's focus on the stuff that we need to actively produce first. So yeah, I think tactical bombs are fine, because that will allow us to do something in that regard. Good. Right, fantastic stuff over here so far. Focusing off in that direction. How are operations looking? 130 days till we are building up that down there, and 2 days till we are getting resistance contacts over here. Agent injured. It's reported they will be out of action for a while. Well, that is interesting. How long is that? 90 days. Ah, okay, that could be worse. That could really be worse. Right, and we have indeed made contact. No. Indeed, we have not made contact. This did not go as well as we had hoped. So, unfortunate, but nothing to be too fretting about, I think. So let's start to build an intelligence network down here in Warsaw, because I think it would be very nice to focus here on the Polish resistance side of things. So yeah, let's build that up and see what we can make out of that. Down here, everything is fine. France has capitulated already in February. So the Germans were a little bit late in attacking Poland, honestly. They were only doing that in November instead of September. But France has fallen extremely quickly, and flight of Rudolf Hess. So Rudolf Hess is immediately flying towards the UK. I'm not sure this is good news. I think the Germans might very well declare war on us in 1940. And that's not great. So One thing that I would like to do then is, in terms of construction, build up our fortifications already a little bit. Now, one of our defensive lines is going to be this river line over here. I think it's the Dnieper, I'm not sure. And this river line up here. They do meet in this vicinity, which is why this is called the road to Moscow. If you can break through over here, the Pripyat marshes are down here. So on the northern skirts of the Pripyat marshes, here is Smolensk. And I think this area here is one of the key points that we want to hold off, where we don't have the river benefit. It's Vitebsk, which is an urban area, which is good because it's already going to give a hefty debuff. And it's going to be this plains area down here. Plains, minus 30% attack, really? Well, anyway, I do think up over here it does make some sense to build up local fortifications. So let's try to build up at least a level 3 fort over here. All of the other provinces here I'm relatively fine about, except for down here. We've got Kiev, and I think it does make sense to build up at least a little bit of fortifications up here in the north of that, so that we can make sure that they're not breaking through here on this northern bank of the river. We do probably want to hold Kiev because it's a relatively important city, and just because again it's urban terrain, it has a super good fortification level. So yeah, it would be very nice to keep hold on of that for at least a while. It would be also nice to close the gap down here, otherwise we'd need to defend on this entire front line down here. So maybe, just maybe, we're going to build some fortifications up like this. Would that work? You'd be extremely exposed like that. So you know what? Let's actually do it like this. So you'd be only able to attack this from two sides. This from one side. Yeah, this would work, but this is going to be under extreme pressure here from the AI. So yeah, let's see whether that will work. We are producing quite a lot of stuff here as well. I think I do want to have a slight priority here on at least Vitebsk fortifications. So yeah, let's prioritize that at least somewhat over here. You know what, let's prioritize it all the way, so that we are getting these done. And it should be fairly quickly that we are building up some sort of defense over here. Yeah, so that's alright. Do we have anyone here that we might want to use instead? Civilian factories and infrastructure. We don't really use it, do we? What have we got instead though? Crusader, smooth talking, democratic reformer. No, none of these are really important to us at all. But we've got unassigned divisions. So here's the first tank army. We're going to get you into the mechanized forces here. That should be fairly nice and dandy indeed. We could train you up, and I suppose since we can do that at this moment, no, it would be too much stuff that we are withdrawing from our. Yeah, we still need medium tanks to train up the units that we are already training. So yeah, I think that's going to be alright. Now, that being said, let's have a look at the partisan and resistance map modes, because you can see the Polish territory here has now some resistance strength. That wouldn't have been the case in earlier iterations because we are at peace, obviously, but the resistance here is working out. So that has a base value of 35% there. We do have a claim, we are at peace, so all of that is lowering that. Lower stability is increasing it a little bit. Occupied and capitulated. Yeah, so it's growing a little bit. We need to do something about that. And I think that's over here. Poland. There we go. So 16% resistance, which is increasing. And we've got also compliance. So compliance means we are slowly building up cooperation in this area. As we are occupying it, basically it will give us a couple of things. First, informants, local police, and all of that. So yeah, that is interesting. We can claim oversight over these guys in some fashion. So currently we have civilian oversight that is reducing this a little bit, but also no negative effect on the compliance growth. We could do something like harsh quotas, which would decrease the partisan growth extremely, but it would also reduce the compliance gain by quite a bit at least. And it would also mean we are requiring more garrisons, but it would give us a little bit more in terms of military usefulness of this territory. So yeah, it's a little bit of a balancing act, I think. That being said, I think we don't necessarily need the compliance to grow very quickly. Let's go for harsh quotas. We certainly have the ability to control you. To do that, we're going to use the cavalry divisions. We have hopefully enough of those. And I'm not sure how this is exactly calculated. I do think this is just taking out the stuff from our national stockpile that we need to do that. Yes, I think that is exactly what it does. So yeah, let's have a look at this then. So the cavalry divisions, I think if they are getting a military police upgrade and maybe an armored car, we'd be looking at a lot of suppression over here. That is fine. So I think this is a very good anti-partisan unit over here. Yeah, and that does mean we are using some equipment over here. The only disadvantage I see is that you're using equipment that I really don't want you to be using. I want you to be using old equipment instead of new stuff. Support equipment, support equipment. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure whether you're making any distinction between infantry equipment or whether we are just getting new stuff. So these units are sort of virtual units as I understand it. They're not really deployed on the map, they're just taking out the equipment that you would need to field these divisions here in the first place. So that is not quite what's happening. It's a little bit awkward, I have to say. But yeah, overall it's alright. So that does on the other hand mean that you guys here are slightly weird in terms of the equipment that you're using at this moment. And it also means we have quite a lot of stuff over there. So honestly, I think we could actually disband these units here right away. And you know what? I think that's exactly what we're going to do. Yeah, so there we go. That should free up a little bit of equipment over here, specifically armored cars and all of that. So that is good enough for me. Good stuff, good stuff. So what else can and should we be doing? You definitely should get some sort of general who's ideally somewhat suited at infantry stuff. Oh, we do have you over here in a winter specialist. Well, isn't that interesting? Let's make you into a winter expert and actually pick you. And then we're going to assign you because, well, why not towards here? That'd be alright. Ah, okay, you were actually down there. Oh, anyway, it's alright. We are training up more units, aren't we? Yeah. We're training up a lot of infantry equipment at the same time. Good. Let's look at our stuff over here. 100 days or so till the new coup over there. And in Germany we are still building that up. You are still out for a couple of days. That's okay. Denmark capitulating relatively late over there. And Iceland is taking control over foreign affairs as that is happening. So yeah, to be expected. Okay, you guys over here. Let's get rid of this plan. Where you're arrayed against. Okay, that's okay. Then I would like you here to start building up a fallback line, a defensive line that I think we should try to defend at any cost. And that is going to extend down here from all the way from Vitebsk behind this river over here. So 24 divisions are going to go over here, try to defend that, and we're going to start building up a defensive line like that around over here. Have these guys dig in quite a bit, and that would be very lovely. Not really sure what plan bonus you're getting here, but the important thing is that you're digging in. Fantastic. Do we want to go for any chief of army? Defense, I don't think that is quite as important as maneuver, so let's go for that. Volunteer only is fine. We have more than 4 million in reserve, so that's okay. Ground support, no. Honestly, no. High command. Well, division recovery rate is always very, very good. Amphibious assault is something that we utterly do not need. So yeah, let's go for division recovery. I think that's okay. Yeah, and we have a decent, we have the start of a decent defensive line over here at this moment. Right, that being said, I think this might be a good place to put in a cut. Before we do that, let's briefly have a look at this stuff over here. So yeah, we can lay claims on them now. Or we have laid claims on them. We are building up the fortifications there. Operation Z is probably going to be bypassed or something. And then afterwards we're going to go for partisan suppression. Yeah, I think that's fine. And we should see that we are getting a lot of bonuses here from the occupied Polish territory, which I suddenly realized doesn't have any factories whatsoever. No, there are some factories down here in the south. Just 3 civilian factories though. That's really not that much. Yeah, but at least we are starting to see some fortifications pop up here in the north. And you know what? Let's actually build that up to level 5. Yeah, some damage down there to the infrastructure. I don't mind that much if the Germans attack now. That really wouldn't be the worst. Huh, interestingly enough, just building that meant that they were deprioritized there. For whatever reason. Didn't know that, but that's alright. Okay, fine. So, Operation Z done. Eastern fortifications, no, that was bypassed. We could annex HOI. Don't think that's something that we really need at this moment, so let's go for partisan suppression. And add some free military factories to what exactly? Infantry equipment, always very tempting. Light tanks, don't think we need those at the moment. I think some more tanks would be helpful. And potentially fighters might be coming in usefully as well. On the other hand, just building up a little bit more in terms of anti-tank also just doesn't seem like a bad idea. Maybe a little bit more artillery upgrades would also be good. That being said, it's a good place to put in a cut. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope to see you around next time. Bye bye.